What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we've got the weekly reset preview for January the 10th. And so this week we're getting the third catalyst for Revision 0. We'll talk about that, plus we have the continuation of the main season quest, new weekly challenges, and a new Nightfall weapon drop in this week. But otherwise for the reset we'll get into the additional activities, bonus ranks and rewards. Plus as always we'll cover the Eververse inventory, new cosmetics and exotic items, as well as core content including raids, playlists and Crucible in the game this week. So as always, I hope you find the breakdown helpful today. But before we get into it guys, this video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends, the epic and mighty mobile game which is available to play for free for everyone right now on mobile and PC. Raid has nearly 700 epic champions and they don't just look cool, they're incredibly strong and tuned to play in different combat roles across all types of content. And recently they've added an awesome new faction called the Sylvan Watchers, and these mysterious characters built their homeland in the Mistwood, a huge jungle in the east which the Watchers guard tirelessly. But they also built an alliance with the Shadowkin and Dwarf factions which populate their key city of Neressa. And some of my favourite Sylvan Watchers champions include Green Warden Rock, who's a super strong defense champion, but also Elva Autumnborn, who's a legendary Sylvan support champion. Additionally though, there's a winter event right now for new players called the 12 Days of Raid. So if you download the game using my link below and then copy your player ID and head to 12daysofraid.plarium.com, you can enter your player ID and join the event featuring new story missions and a minigame which gives you chances to win holiday themed items in game and even Amazon gift cards worth up to $1,000. There's an extra promo code on the site as well that gives you a neat festive gift. And so if you want a huge head start, scan the QR code on screen or follow the link in the description below, and new players will get a free starter pack with all of this awesome loot which will appear in your inbox for the next 30 days. And additionally, if you didn't know, we can now get a new champion based on MMA and pro wrestling star Ronda Rousey, and if you sign in and play for 7 days before February 20th, you'll get access to this champion for free, but be sure as well to use promo code Ronda in the store to get a bunch of items to help level her up. And so if you want to check out Raid Shadow Legends, definitely hit the link below, and thanks to them for sponsoring the video today. Now though, as we get into the game and the reset stuff, as always we have the continuation of the More Than a Weapon quest, so we're on step 41, and I believe that means we only have a couple of weeks left of the main quest. So it could be pretty interesting seeing how the story progresses, but on top of that we're also going to get access to the third exotic catalyst for the Revision 0 this week, which will grant the Outlaw refit. And of course that catalyst will let precision kills greatly decrease reload time. And on top of that we'll get another stats upgrade on the exotic intrinsic through crafting. Not sure if there'll be any additional secrets inside of Operation Seraph Shield, but with us being on the final couple of weeks of the catalyst upgrades and the season quest, once again things could certainly get interesting. So let us know in the comments if you'll be diving in to get Outlaw on the Revision 0 this week. And up next we have weekly challenges. So as always there are a couple that are classified, those mainly pertain to the weekly steps of the quest. But additionally we have CQC loadout to defeat targets with glaives, and we get bonus progress for defeating Guardians and combatants in Heist Battlegrounds with melee final blows. On top of that though, there is Apex Armorer to masterwork a piece of armor, as well as Absolutely Stunning to stun champions, and then we've got Crucible Ornament to acquire the Crucible Ornament for the Veles X Pulse Rifle. And again, there will be a couple of extra challenges which we can't currently see. For the Vanguard though, the featured Nightfall this week will be the Warden of Nothing. It'd be fun to jump back into that one, and additionally, we get a returning weapon for the season, which is the Wendigo. They've made that into a Nightfall weapon, of course featuring random rolls and all that good stuff, so looking forward to getting access to that, and let us know in the comment section if you'll be grinding to pick up a Wendigo inside of the Nightfall this week. But when it comes to the Crucible, Rift will return this week, plus we should see a return of Trials on Friday's daily reset. But if it's Gambit you fancy jumping into, we do have bonus ranks all week long, so it won't be a bad time to level up inside of Gambit and pick up some of the rewards. But here for the raid and dungeon rotation this week, the featured activities are the Last Wish raid, as well as the Shattered Throne dungeon, and both of these as always will drop their unique items, and their power relevancy has been updated. And moving on, we get into the Eververse store for the week. And so for the 10th of January, we'll see the Rising Dawn exotic emote featured. As always, those are pretty expensive. It's going to be 3,250 bright dust. We'll also see some legendary emotes. So we have the Brilliant Idea emote, and that one will be available this week for 700 bright dust, as well as the Harpy Entrance Transman effect, which we'll be able to pick up for 450 bright dust. And then the featured shader is one from back in Season of the Chosen, and this week it's the Royal Treatment. So if you fancy picking that one up, as always, it will cost 300 Bright Dust. But additionally, we'll see the Glaive Mistake exotic emote. Again, that's going to be 3,250 Bright Dust. And then we'll get the legendary emote Couch Nap, which will be up for 700 Bright Dust this week. But onto some of the other cosmetic items, we have the Trustworked Clipper, an exotic ship right there, for 2,000 Bright Dust. And on top of that, we're going to see the gauntlets from the seasonal armor set, the Arc Armor. Obviously, we're just looking at the Hunter ones here, but they'll be available for all 3 classes, and the gauntlets will cost 1,200 Bright Dust this week. And then we get into some exotic ornaments for armor pieces. So for Hunters this week, we'll see the R3 Treads for the Stompies. These are going to cost 1,500 Bright Dust. Then for Titans, we'll get the Belanus Boosters. That's an ornament for the Lion Rampant right there. And finally for Warlocks, the Lay Striders, which is an ornament for the Lunar Faction Boots. And once again, each of these will cost 1,500 Bright Dust this week. But for the featured weapon ornament this week, we'll see the Homesteader, which is a kind of Tex Mechanica themed ornament for Xenophage. So if you're looking to get your Xenophage match in some of the other weapons from this season, that one will cost 1,250 Bright Dust. And finally, we'll also see the Infinity Door Projection, a legendary ghost projection there for 1,500 Bright Dust this week. So let us know if you're going to be picking up any items from the Eververse store. But then as we get into featured Lost Sectors for this week, for Tuesday's reset, we're going to see K1 Revelation featured, dropping exotic gauntlets. Then on January 11th, it'll be K1 Communion, dropping exotic chest pieces. January 12th will be Bunker E15, dropping exotic helmets. And then we'll get Concealed Void for January 13th, that'll be dropping exotic legs. January 14th, we'll see Perdition, dropping exotic gauntlets. And then we'll see Sepulture on January 15th, dropping exotic chest pieces, followed by Extraction on January the 16th, which will be dropping exotic helmets. Getting into the loot rotation for Dares of Eternity though, as always, the red border drops updated last season are still available, but additionally, as random drops at the end of the activity, this week we can get the Scatterhorn armor set, as well as the Perfectus armor, which is the armor set for Season of the Chosen. Plus, we'll get a bunch of weapons from Season of the Chosen and Season of the Worthy. Once again, all of those will be random drops on the end of activities. But if it's the Ascendant Challenger after this week, the featured one will be Samara Garrison, which is accessed via the Chamber of Starlight in Res Sylvia. So if you want some gameplay showing how to get to that one this week, we'll run it at the end of the video. But otherwise, as always, I hope the weekly reset video has been helpful, guys. And if it has, a rating below really does help us out on the channel. And if you want to see more Destiny content, then be sure to get subscribed and I'll keep you posted with more info about the game over the coming weeks. But otherwise for today, I appreciate you tuning in, and whatever you get up to, I hope you have an awesome week.